back on Get Up, and it's a huge weekend of college football games this weekend, and the biggest is probably Auburn and Oregon, a rematch of the 2011 National Championship game. It's the only matchup of AP-ranked teams in Week 1, and you will see Justin Herbert taking on that good defense. Number 2, Alabama will play on ABC against Duke. The Bama has won 17 straight season openers, tied for the 5th longest streak in the AP poll era. Number 9, Notre Dame visits Louisville Monday on ESPN. The Fighting Irish enter the season their highest preseason ranking since '06. Ian Book was 8-1 as a starter last year. Jalen Hurts debuting Sunday for Oklahoma. Number 4 in the country hosting Houston on ABC. Houston has won 3 straight against AP top 5 teams, including a win over Oklahoma. And then Northwestern and Stanford on Saturday afternoon. Northwestern has 6 opponents on the schedule ranked in the top 25. All of those happen in the first 7 weeks of the season. And I am wearing nothing but purple on the program today. Coincidence? I think not. Meanwhile, we've got Acho, we've got Sanchez here to look at some trap games. Acho, you pitch those to us. How are you defining trap games for the purposes of this conversation?
So college football, a trap game. The favorite team isn't paying attention to the smaller team because either you're coming off a big game, Greeny, or you got a big game next week. So you're really overlooking your opponent. I want to look at some trap games Week 1. First things first, Oklahoma, Houston. Oklahoma just got Jalen Hurts. They're favored not only to go to hopefully, well, first things first, let's talk USC Fresno.
USC Fresno.
They already got it. Oh, flipped it on me.
There
Oklahoma, Houston.
Go.
Oklahoma's ready. They got Jalen Hurts. He's expected to be the man. They're not only expected to go to the college football playoff, but hopefully win the whole dang thing. Well, Houston has a guy by the name of De'Aaron King at quarterback. He had 50 total touchdowns when he got hurt last year. Baller. He was leading the whole league. He's a baller. Sooner fans, that's a trap game. You got to be on alert. Next thing, you got USC and you got Fresno State. Sanchez, you know this one well, but USC, they're supposed to be great with the new offensive coordinator, Graham Harrell. But Fresno State, they are not going to be scared because it's one of those rivalry type of games, Greeny. This is one of those big-time games. And get this, USC was the favorite last year in 4 games last year. They lost 3 of those 4 games. So this is another one of those games where USC, it's a trap game. Be on alert. Not saying you're going to lose, but if you're not awake as a USC fan, if you're not awake as a player, you're going to lose. And then Texas, Louisiana Tech. Texas lost 2 of their last 2 home openers, Sanchez. They lost their first 2, lost to Maryland, and then they lost to Maryland again, Greeny. Not that they don't have the talent, but for whatever reason, they've always started slow. Louisiana Tech, they're no slouch. No, they don't have the talent to beat Texas, but everybody in Austin, and I live in Austin, so I know this, is looking to Louisiana State University in Week 2. But first things first, you got to get past Louisiana Tech. So Longhorn Nation, that's another trap.
Well, that one makes all the sense in the world to me because the game against LSU is the one that Texas is playing for everyone to say they're really back this time. So maybe this is the one that we overlook. And with Texas, it starts with Sam Ehlinger, who a lot of people are talking about for the Heisman this year.
Sam Ehlinger has to start his Heisman moment Week 1. If Texas is going to go to the college football playoff like Kirk Herbstreit has predicted, it all falls on the shoulders of quarterback Sam Ehlinger. He has been through everything as a person. He's been through everything as a man in his family. He lost his father early on. He's had to be the man of the house, and now he has to be the man of the Texas Longhorns. But he's one of a few players to throw for over 25 touchdowns and rush for over 15. If Texas is going to make national noise this year, Greeny, it has to be Sam Ehlinger.
Are they going to?
I think they can. Heck yeah. The problem is, defensively, they're only returning 3 starters. But I think they can, but it has to be everything on Sam Ehlinger.
All right, then let me spin it back. We talked about USC there briefly. Sure. Let's talk about the conference that you know so well, and that is the Pac-12. What are your thoughts on that conference, which I feel like I want to say is much maligned, generally speaking?
Listen, if you're a Pac-12 team, to get in that college football playoff, you got to go undefeated.
Have to.
Got to. Oregon's putting it all on the line tomorrow night against Auburn. That's high risk, high reward, right? But my team, my sleeper team, right? Utah. I'm telling you, they got the best draw. No Stanford, no Oregon out of the north. They're favored in every game except the one against Washington at the Dogs that weekend.
You're right.
And then at USC will be another tough test for them. I really think they have the easiest path, but a 11-1, 12-1 Oregon team might not get in with a 1-loss SEC team or a Texas team. They get snubbed, right? They don't make it unless you're undefeated.
So the Pac-12 probably needs to go unbeaten. And you were making the point this morning in our meeting, Acho. There's so much on the line this weekend. All these SEC teams playing all these other schools.
Florida beat Miami already. If Auburn beats Oregon, if LSU beats Texas, everybody in the nation has to shut the heck up and all hail the SEC. I'm not a huge SEC fan by birth. They beat me in my only national championship appearance. But if SEC dominates the first 2 weeks, They're the greatest.
And it may be the end for school conferences like the Pac-12. Meanwhile, the huge one is on ABC. As we mentioned, Saturday night, Heisman hopeful Justin Herbert leading number 11 Oregon against number 16 Auburn. That's Saturday night, 7:30 Eastern on ABC. And you can watch it live on the ESPN app.
Vasily Lomachenko.
135, it's not my best weight where I can show you my best boxing. For me, comfortable, it's 130. It's my natural weight. It's more risk than 130.
So why are you doing this?
Because I have a goal. I have a dream. I want to be undisputed world champion.
Lomachenko, the fastest in history to become a 3-division world champ.
That's why I move up 135. Because other champions, they don't want to fight with me. So next fight, after this fight, of course, will be unified title with the Comey.
The fight is tomorrow in London. Just moments ago, the weigh-in for Lomachenko and Luke Campbell. Campbell is the 6th-ranked lightweight in the world. Lomachenko, as you probably know, is pound for pound considered the best fighter in the world. And you will see this fight tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern on ESPN+. And there he is. Andre Ward is in London for us to look ahead to this. Andre, what should the fans expect from this fight tomorrow?
The fight Saturday night is going to be highly competitive for the first 6 rounds. Luke Campbell is going to try to put the UK on his back, put his home country on his back, and try to prove to the world and prove to himself that he has what it takes to not only compete but beat arguably the best fighter in the world. But the only problem with that is it's a 12-round fight. After that 6th round, I think you're going to start to see Lomachenko pull away.
Will the fight being in England have any impact? We should mention Luke Campbell is English, as you just touched on there. The fact that they're fighting in his home country, how does that actually impact a fight?
It's not going to impact the fight like we think it is. It's actually going to hurt the challenger, I believe. Hurt the challenger in Luke Campbell because he's got so much pressure to perform in front of 20,000 people at O2 Arena, and it's actually going to help the champion in Vasily Lomachenko because every fighter wants to come to the UK and experience what it feels like to fight in front of these friends. It's going to fuel Lomachenko, and it's going to ultimately drain Campbell as the fight progresses.
Lomachenko is a heavy favorite, 20-1, according to Caesars Sportsbook. What do you expect his strategy to be? What should the fans expect to see Lomachenko come out with tomorrow night?
Again, Lomachenko's facing a fighter who is a lot taller, who's a lot longer, and who can box. Luke Campbell has great legs. He's a gold medalist. He knows his way around that boxing ring. So, again, the first 6 rounds are going to be very tricky. Lomachenko's going to try to find his way in. Lomachenko's going to get hit on the way in, but ultimately class will tell over time, and you're going to start to see why Lomachenko is arguably the best fighter in the world. He's going to find a way to get inside that house and to get to Luke Campbell, and we're going to start to see that right around the 7th or 8th round.
All right, Andre, we'll be watching tomorrow afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us here. We're looking forward to it. And again, you can watch the fight between Vasily Lomachenko, pound for pound, the best in the world, and Luke Campbell. It's tomorrow on ESPN+. It's in English and in Spanish at 4 Eastern. To order the main card, go to ESPNplus.com/toprank. And be sure to download the ESPN app if you're watching on your mobile device. You can stream the undercards starting at 1 Eastern tomorrow afternoon. Coming up, if you didn't think Ezekiel Elliott was going to miss regular season games, well, this got real overnight. You'll hear what Jerry Jones said. You'll hear what it means. All that and more is next. Get Up on ESPN.